Buyers might be finding you, then completely backing away. And what I often find is that people who are new on Etsy, they often assume the problem is that no one's finding them, right? Which is so understandable. Sometimes buyers are finding the shop, looking around and leaving because they just do not trust it enough yet. Think about the last time you walked into like a physical store that made you feel a little bit uneasy for whatever reason, and you will completely get what I mean. So, buyers are essentially asking, will it arrive? Will it look like the photos? Will it be gift worthy if it is for a gift? And will it be easy if something goes wrong? And that is something that I think trust is a massive, massive part of. So when we have trust, we have fewer buyer question marks. And for those of you who are listening to the audio version of this, I'm going to try my best to explain what I am scribbling on screen. And for those of you who are looking at my handwriting and thinking, what on earth is that? You will get used to it, I promise. So this is for Etsy beginners, new handmade business owners, or shops getting views but not many sales. And I have got some notes here, so if you see me glancing down, that will be why. So a quiet shop does not always mean the product is wrong. That's one thing that I want everyone watching to be very, very aware of. The amount of times that I get emails, DMs from those who are frustrated because their products haven't got views or sales yet, whether that's on Etsy or even on somewhere like social media, right? And the number one thing that they always blame, well, to be honest, there's two things. It's always Etsy isn't showing me, or people just must not like me or my product. And I can tell you that the vast majority of you thinking that who are watching or listening to this, that is not the problem. A quiet shop does not always mean that the product is wrong, okay? It's just how you are presenting the product, okay? Think about this in a little bit more detail. Think about your favorite product. Let's think about mascara, right? When you think about mascara, the money to develop the product, to make the product, isn't going into the formula, it's going into the packaging, it's going into the way it's presented. Now, I'm not saying you have to go out there and spend gajillions on your packaging, but the old adage does apply here. It's just how you are presenting the product that could be the thing that people are not vibing with. I'm going to be going over a few mistakes that new Etsy shop owners or Etsy beginners do when they are just starting out so that people are not trusting you. All right, so mistake number one, your shop looks unfinished, okay? So shop looks unfinished. So the most common trust killers are no profile photo, no banner, an empty about section, vague policies, a blank announcement, or unfinished shop details, okay? So sellers often leave these bits until later, but buyers actually use them to judge whether the shop is still active and reliable, okay? So the way to fix this is by adding a clear profile image or logo, a simple banner, a helpful announcement, completed about section, and clear shop policies. So basically, that is the trust basics checklist. Mistake number two, your photos, they look pretty, but they're not doing a very good job at answering buyer questions. Listing photos need to reduce buyer doubt, not just look nice, okay? And I'm specifically talking about, like, I think the majority of your photo effort should be going into your thumbnail image and the first sort of two or three images after that, because obviously when someone is scrolling, they're more likely to see the photos that are up front rather than at the end, okay? Buyers cannot touchy-feely, they cannot measure, they cannot inspect, they cannot compare the product in person in real life. So you need to use your photos to show the relative scale, details, color, use, packaging, and personalization, variations and bits and bobs like that where relevant. Each photo that you have within your listing, and this is crucial, needs to answer a buying question. So let's say you have like a list of 5 questions that your ideal target market always asks. So it should literally be your thumbnail image, right? And then it should be objection 1, 2, 3, 4, that you are using your image photo slots to answer those, okay? So each photo needs to answer a buyer objection or a buyer question. Repeated angles just waste photo slots. So please do not just like put the same image in over and over and over again, because that literally does nothing. Every unanswered question talking about this, every single unanswered question gives the buyer another reason to go and never to click on your stuff again. Mistake number 3, your description sounds nice, but isn't actually helpful in any way, shape, or form. If your descriptions are very like vague, like beautiful handmade gift made with love, like things like that does not give the buyers enough information. And what I see is either you have a description which is either a gajillion years long and it's like this and this and this and it's just like literally a wall of text, or you have a description that's literally like this. You need something that is in the middle, okay? You need something that has an introductory paragraph that has lots and lots and lots of bullet points and like, you know, things to make the wall of text split up so you can use emojis and things like that, okay? It needs to have the practical details before the buyer will feel confident enough to buy from you. A strong description should cover what it is, who it's for, size, materials, and care, okay? You don't want to be adding in things like delivery, processing times, shipping costs, blah, 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 because those are things that are covered automatically by Etsy's little listing helper. Mistake number 4 is delivery and processing times feel very unclear. Gift buyers are not just buying the product, they are buying it arriving on time. And you have to understand that if someone is buying a gift, especially if it's last minute, that's very, very stressful. So when you have a processing time, shipping profile, delivery info, or delivery upgrades that are unclear, that creates some kind of hesitation. Now, you might be thinking, well, people can just message me, surely. But the thing is that people are shopping on their phones, super distracted. They probably don't have the time, or they get distracted before they can actually message you. So you need to make it clear how long the item takes to make, when it will dispatch, whether upgrades are available or not, and what buyers should do if they need it by a certain date. Mistake number 5, you are not showing enough human proof, and this is vital. New shops may not have reviews yet, but they can still show that a real person is behind the shop, and that does build trust. It's kind of like walking into a bit of a dodgy looking physical location and there's like no one there. You feel immediately a bit like, okay, where is everybody? What's the dealio here? Whereas if someone kind of like welcomes you in, says, hi, how are you doing? Not over the top, but just kind of says, hey, I'm here if you need anything. That immediately makes you feel more at ease, especially if it's a shop or a brand you've never been in before. So handmade buyers often want to know who is making, packing, and sending the item. New shops who don't have reviews, this one is for you. Because if you don't have reviews, that's fine. It's a temporary thing. But in the meantime, you can still really hammer home the fact that it's a real person behind the brand. So to do this, you want to use maker photos, process pictures, packaging pictures, about section details, craft experience, market experience, all the good stuff. Mistake number 6, your shop feels super inconsistent. Listen, inconsistency makes buyers feel really unsure, even if they cannot explain why, all right? This can show up through mixed photo styles, random product types, uneven listing detail, unclear pricing, or different title styles, okay? So you really want to be making sure that there is some kind of consistency throughout your shop. I understand that you are going to want to be testing things, and that's completely fine. But you don't want one photo style and listing style next to one that is completely and utterly different, okay? One might be in your target market's taste and the other one might not be, okay? So to check whether the shop feels intentional and whether a cold buyer, someone who is brand new to you, who's maybe, I don't know, coming through search and has no idea who you are, you need to do the 10-second cold buyer test, okay? Basically, I need you to answer these questions, okay? What do you, who is it for, and can I trust you? Buyers should understand the shop very, very quickly. A confusing shop makes a buyer work far too hard, and they'll rather bounce off than actually dig in to find the information that they need, right? The goal is not to be a perfectly polished Etsy shop. The goal is to be clear. So let's talk about Etsy stats, okay, and what they mean. If your views are low, the issue may be visibility. You need more traffic. You need to do better SEO. Your thumbnail images need to be better. Something is not working. That could be your title, it could be your tags, it could be your first line of your description. Like I said, it could also be your picture. So if that is you, those are the things that you need to pay attention to. If views and visits are going on, but sales are not, check trust and conversion. Something is turning people off. Are buyer objections being answered? Is it the fact that you have no reviews? Is it the fact that you don't have a proper brand set up? Is it the fact that you just don't have enough evidence that you are the person making it? This is you. Like, basically, have you humanized your brand enough? Is it the fact that your thumbnail image is getting them to click, but the rest of your images are making them distrust you or not answering buyer questions? These are the things that you need to look at. If you want to dig deeper into this, I have an amazing freebie for you. It's literally called Why Your Etsy Listings Aren't Selling Yet and What to Do About It. This is an amazing 72-page freebie, and it's not like a blimmin' novel. It's literally got little images, drawings, a bit like what I've got up on screen now. It really does help Etsy shop owners spot what is stopping buyers, what's stopping them from clicking, stopping them from trusting you, and obviously stopping you from making sales. And I really, really, really feel like every single one of you who is watching this, listening to this, needs to grab this freebie. So I've linked it below this video, podcast, wherever you are consuming this. Now, here's the next thing that I want you to watch/listen to. It's called Etsy Shop Not Getting Sales, the real reason your shop feels quiet, okay? If you're watching the YouTube version, I will pop the thumbnail up on screen now, just so you can go and find it. Trust is one reason why a new Etsy shop may not be converting, but it's not the only reason. This video helps you to diagnose whether the issue is views, clicks, listings, pricing, or buyer confidence. So please do not just think that your Etsy shop is doomed because you do not have many sales yet. Remember to start with trust. Go through all of the things that I've mentioned in this video, and I promise you, if you do these things consistently, people will begin to trust you. So go and watch that next video, and I will see you there.